I have over 25 to 30 aux tracks in just one project. All right, and this guy does amazing aux. You should check him out. He has a channel doing aux diary. That's Jorex Joe. All right, this is an amazing aux that he laid out for this particular project. So I'm gonna solo this aux. I think I've used this in one project before, but I just thought I should use these again, and I'll use many other examples. All right, so listen to this particular aux. All right, so I just played different sections of the aux so you can hear. Let me play this. All right. For you, so you can listen and see what I have working or running here in this project. There are lots of amazing movements that this aux player Jorex Joe, check him out on YouTube. An amazing guy, amazing aux player. He put out this arrangement was really massive. I've always loved this since when I heard it until today. I'm really looking forward to us doing this particular session again. Always ensure that the melody lines are at the top. All right, after you're done leveling everything and checking through your tracks, ensure your melody lines are at the top. And let me pinpoint some melody lines for you. This. All right, so these are examples of melody lines. All right, so you can see these are melody lines that you can't skip when you're mixing aux all the time. Make sure you search for your melody lines. Okay, all true. And if there are arpeggios that are important that should be heard, make sure they're heard. Now look at these vocal effects here. All right, very important. This has to be heard. Okay, this is very key. Now let me play another very important vocal effects at this point. Without you. All right, so these things are melody lines that come in interludes that need to be heard whenever you're actually mixing aux. So you go through all the aux that are sent to you and you ensure that you balance all these things. Shout out to Jorex, man. Jorex did an amazing, you should check his YouTube channel. Jorex Joe is an amazing aux player. He does content on how to approach creating stems like this. All right, this was an amazing work. Well done. Also go through the loop channel. All right, but I want us to focus firstly on the melodies, all right, and the sounds and your choices of sound. This is EDM, and in EDM there is a lot of movements. All right, you always hear a lot of arpeggios moving. Now let me solo some of the arpeggios that he used, starting from his plug sounds. Listen to this. All right, very important. You hear movements like this. Now let's find an arpeggio. Not the strum. I loved this idea that he added. Like the moment you hear it, you want to move, right? And then the arpeggio now. So what you're hearing is the arpeggio is moving left, right, left, right. Very important. I think there should be another arpeggio. Let me open up the pad. Right, this is very important when it comes to EDM. Generally, you must have arpeggios. Listen to this particular arpeggio here. So it's finding the right place for it. This arpeggio now is also, I also consider it to be a melody line because it came out in an interlude, all right? So it's meant to be heard when you're mixing. All right, now another amazing arpeggio set are this, guys. Let me open. Okay, here. Oh, good. Feels so good listening to this. You can feel the emotion in the arpeggio and the movement. It's so beautiful, right? This guy does amazing arcs. I really appreciate this guy. Now listen to this again. It's beautiful. Like, these are elements you may not be able to feel, not sorry, you may not be able to hear, but you will feel them, all right, because there will be movement in the song, all right. It just brings joy. Now, one last thing I'd like to point out here is the hits. What is an auxiliary, an aux track without hits? All right, we can see whooshes, and we could see cymbal rise. Let me find one. Look at this particular part. Yeah, look at this particular one here. Just to help it to be big. Now I want to hear the cymbal rise. Come on, shh. Yeah, we want to hear it big. Right. So now, when we're diving into mixing, yeah, it's very important that you don't over compress or cut out with EQ too much elements of the sounds. I believe that when an auxiliary player or a producer is sending aux tracks for a project, they choose sounds that are already sound designed to their taste, to what they want. So if they're picking a whoosh sound, they choose if they want the whoosh to be dry is okay. If they want the cymbal rise to be dry is okay. If they want the arpeggio to be dry is okay. Maybe just a pluck sound or a pluck sound with reverb and delay. All right, I believe most producers should be able to sound design their sounds before sending. So what I'm getting is your intention. So all we are mixing is just mixing your ideas and bringing them out into the music. All right, so there's no need to start adding reverb again all over to redefine what is already defined by the producer. All right, you just need to get working with his ideas. All right, sometimes they want it dry, unless they request especially that, okay, throw Valhalla on this particular arpeggio or on this particular pluck sound. That's different, right? So let's always take note of that. Sometimes their sounds come panned, so we need to listen for what is sounding panned and what is not. Do I need to move something left or right? Do I need to leave it in the center? All right, if you don't, you need to let the sound breathe. All right, because it's when we begin to over compress, over EQ, that we begin to take out the flesh of the music. All right, yeah, so let's take note of that. So listen to this particular plug sounds, for example. So you can see this plug is already panned a bit, right? And the other plug already panned left, so it makes it sound stereo. All right, this is very important. It just reminded me, please, mix engineers, always ensure that you record stem tracks. If we are not getting stems like this, record the tracks as stereo, left, right. It's not nice when live recordings are done, or any form of production, whether it's live stream mixes, all right, service experience, and then you're hearing the stem sounding just mono. You're just giving one XLR cable or something to just take out just a mono signal from an audio interface. Right, I believe most audio interfaces come left, right for a reason. You can pan them and get a good stereo feel. Always, in fact, I don't mind 3. I argued with an engineer from an event we just finished, right? Give us about 3 or 4 outputs from the stems. We need a click track to our in-ears as musicians on one, and then we need stereo to be recorded. Right, so we don't lose information, and even while mixing live, you won't lose information. That applies everywhere, right? So please, let's ensure we do that. All right. So you can hear this. There's no need for panning now. Look at this particular synth and the bell. I had to pan this bell. I had to pan. Okay, look at the synth. The synth was in the middle here, but I felt no, I need to hear the synth a little bit left since it's a melody line and there's a bell also playing by its side. So I had to pan this bell a bit left. All right, this is what I want to hear. Okay, let them stay so we can feel that stereo width of the voicings at the moment. All right, it's very important. Now here is the piano line at the EDM side. Let me take it back to mono because it does a mono. All right, I really wanted to hear this on the left so I can allow other instruments that are played live to breathe on that side. Now this arpeggio already has more of its hit on the left, so it's okay for the piano and this arpeggio to hit and create that stereo. Can you hear it? Nice. It's all you need to do when mixing aux is to just bring out the beauty of the aux. All right, please and please, let's bring out the beauty of aux. All right, these loops belong in this channel. So now here goes our loop track. So let me open the EDM part first, the trap part of it first. Yo, you know what I'm saying. All right, so cool. All right, I don't think I want to pan a lot of things. Let me see. So let my hi-hat go to the left a bit and this other one should follow it to the side. Let me make the hi-hat a bit I'm just following the trap. Let me make the hi-hat a bit bouncy. Yeah. All right, so let me come back to where there's the EDM vibe. All right, nice. So let me open this analog drum. All right, so this analog shaker already sounds open, stereo to the left. I can hear it. I'm not adding anything to it. Maybe the only shaker I moved is this particular one here. You see, I had to move it to the side a bit to allow the song breathe and reduce the volume, so it just sits well in the music. So let's listen to this loop at this point. Risen from the dead, he is not. Yeah. So I'm going to blend my loop bus a little bit into the aux bus so I can feel what they sound like, assuming this was a production, before I begin to blend them into the whole production. I like to do that. So, and then I'll still solo my drums and the loops and blend them together. All right, so let me see what energy I'm getting from the two. I'm trying to run away from clashes, so to ensure there's balance. All right, I'm treating my loops as part of the aux, because I find that a lot of producers will send you also loop tracks sometimes when they're producing. A lot of times, maybe if when they send them, I can add up some things, or if I'm the one producing. But for this one, it's a live gig. He did the production of everything, the loops, and yeah. But in instances where I am the one producing the tracks, I may do most of my loops myself, and then an auxiliary player sends you most of the other stuff. All right, so for now I have to work with his loops because I just got the loops and I'm mixing them together. All right, so the workflow is not always the same. If I was one who produced the loops, I would have mixed it with my drums already first before, yeah, just story for another day. Let's just focus on the aux. Right, so let me open the whole stem tracks and the drums, and then let's blend them together. So I'm dropping the loops, they're a bit loud. So I'm not gonna compress anything on the loop bus. Let me open the drums to see. So the loops are loud. let me open the guitar and the bass. All right, so all I'm aiming at still is the loop, the stem tracks. All right, I'm just aiming at the aux tracks that are in here to ensure they find expression. Is very important that your aux finds expression. And I'll have to quiet certain things. All right, it's not everything that you're gonna hear. You're just gonna feel like a lot of those arpeggios. You're just feeling them. All right, but all I'm doing now is mixing just the aux and giving you a perspective of when you're mixing aux in a project. All right, make sure you level your aux, balance them properly first. Now on this particular sounds, I would like to just EQ a little bit. All right, so I can take away some frequencies on the main bus that could be clashing with my low end instruments, my kicks, floor tom, bass, and all that. I could take the floor. All right, so the lowest instrument on this channel is on the auxiliary sounds are the strum acoustic, and it's okay. I will still want to hear the low end coming in from it. All right, and then I would like to throw a compressor now, very light compression on this to just bring the low stuff that I can hear up. All right, no, not the FET. Let me just use the platinum digital, and then just slight compression, nothing much. Yeah, just very slight. Now with the loop, all right, so my stems might just have gotten a bit loud. I'll turn it down. See? So with the drums, with everything, minus the lead, of course, and the BGVs. Yeah, I like this. All right, so I'm just still building the track. You see, we're building everything, building the mixes, then we begin automation later. If I want to hear a bit more of the synth, if I want to hear a bit more of, the idea is you being able to make sure your aux finds expression, know all the sounds in your aux, know what the music needs, the movements. All right, and this applies to different kinds of music. If you're mixing string sections, you need to know what melody lines need to find expression and at what time do they need to just be felt. All right, and at moments like this, I would want to hear, let me show you an example. I would want to hear this particular FX that played. There was a particular, let me find it, this guys. I would love to hear this while the music is going on. So I'll give you an example of automation I'll do here. Though I can hear it, but I'll still love to automate this. So I'm just gonna throw their volume up a bit on the individual channels. All right, so I can feel them both at the top. Yeah. So this came in during an interlude. All right, so I would do this and go through all the aux. What do I want to feel? If it's the guitar that I was doing a solo, I'll go to the guitar, automate it. All right, though the guitar is not part of the aux, but this approach works and works a lot. And before I tune out on this video, I'm gonna open another project. So this project is we're yet to release this project, so I can't open the BGVs, and everything is actually a project and that should be dropping in a few months from now. What month are we in? The month of May. It should be dropping soon. So listen to the aux on this particular project at this point at the chorus. This is also like an EDM. right, so you can hear the movement of the aux. Okay, because it's EDM, it needs movement. Now let me add the guitar so you can feel a bit of the movement. Right, this is nice. Now let me open a little bit of the FX so you can feel the heat. All right, so this project is yet to drop, and I'm not gonna open that. You're not gonna hear it. It's gonna drop when or soon. It's dropping soon, anyways. Yeah. Now my point is for you to feel what aux is doing. All right. Know the song. Know what needs to be automated. In this particular one, I've done some automations. I'm not gonna go through it. Right. You're not meant to hear this. All right, but you are. All right, it's a project I want you to anticipate. You will love the vocals. My God, this guy's recorded fire vocals on this. Yeah, and the vocalist himself is excellent. The room recording and the live feel of everything. The drums, I'm not opening any of that. This is a secret. Right, this guy might squeeze my neck when he sees this, but no problem. All right, so just know what the aux needs. Listen to every component. Know what the song needs at what point is my point in all of this. So I'll see you in another video. If you have any question, you can leave it in the comment. I'll respond to your comments. And I'm also selling my template for mixing live vocals, including just mixing drums and mixing live music, rather not live vocals, live music in Logic Pro, in FL Studio, and also in Cubase. Right, so you can, I'll leave the link below. You can purchase these templates and you have all of these expressions from guitar, strings, auxiliary instruments and vocals and everything, drums, all put together. And please subscribe to my channel. You help the channel grow and help us to do more and more content that can help your audio to become way better and more excellent and more pleasing. That's the most important thing, for people to enjoy your mixes and your music. Even if you're not planning to be a mix engineer, let people just enjoy your music when you mix. All right, please subscribe. I'm begging. Thank you. See you in the next video.